The first shot cracked through the frozen valley like a thunderclap, and before the echo died, a German shepherd was already running into gunfire while grown soldiers froze in fear. Snow exploded in white bursts around him, bullets carving lines through the storm, and on the ridge above, a woman everyone had mocked steadied her rifle with trembling fingers, knowing that in the next heartbeat she would either lose everything, or save them all. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in standing by those who are different, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Bright Hearts. Stories like this remind us why compassion still matters in a hard world. They had never wanted her there. From the day Sergeant Alara Vance arrived at the forward operating base, whispers followed her like shadows at dusk. She was young, only 27, with sharp hazel eyes and dark hair always tied back in a tight braid that brushed the collar of her camouflage jacket. Her reputation as a sniper was carved from difficult missions and impossible shots, but in a unit hardened by pride and tradition, skill was not enough to silence doubt. And when she stepped off the transport truck with a large German shepherd padding faithfully at her side, the doubt turned into open scorn. The dog's name was Valor. He moved with controlled strength, amber eyes scanning everything, ears twitching at distant sounds no one else could hear. Alara had trained him herself during long, lonely months between deployments. He wasn't a mascot or a pet, he was her partner. But the others didn't see partnership. They saw weakness. They saw sentiment. They saw a woman bringing a dog into a war zone as if it were some comfort toy she couldn't leave behind. The jokes began the first night. Men who had survived ambushes and roadside blasts laughed as Valor lay quietly beside Alara's bunk. They said the battlefield was no place for animals. They said she'd put them all at risk. They said she was trying to prove something. Alara did not argue. She had grown used to skepticism long before she ever touched a rifle. Instead, she focused on routine. Dawn runs with Valor along the perimeter. Target practice at extreme distances. Careful maintenance of her rifle under the dim hum of fluorescent lights. Valor never barked without reason. He obeyed hand signals so subtle they were almost invisible. He could detect a change in the wind before a storm hit and would nudge Alara's leg if he sensed movement beyond the wire. Slowly, a few soldiers began to notice that their night watches felt less tense when the dog was nearby. But pride is a stubborn wall, and most refused to acknowledge it. The mission that changed everything began like any other briefing, a map spread across a metal table, red circles marking suspected hostile positions in a narrow mountain pass. Intelligence suggested the enemy was moving weapons through the valley under cover of a snowstorm. Alara's team was tasked with reconnaissance and, if necessary, providing overwatch for a convoy scheduled to pass through at dawn. The weather forecast predicted heavy snowfall and limited visibility, conditions that would challenge even the most experienced marksman. When Alara asked for authorization to bring Valor, the commander hesitated only briefly before nodding. Resources were thin. If the dog could offer even a slight advantage, it was worth the risk. But the resentment in the transport vehicle was thick as diesel fumes. The men avoided her gaze. One muttered that they'd all pay for this foolishness. They hiked through waist-deep snow under a sky the color of iron. The wind howled across the ridges, carrying ice crystals that stung exposed skin. Valor moved ahead of the formation, nose low, paws deliberate, occasionally glancing back to ensure Alara followed. She felt the familiar blend of tension and calm that came before every mission. Fear was there, yes, but it was shaped and control.